Hey there, everybody. If you're thinking about moving to Orlando, Florida, and you want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly, well then stick around, because on this video, we're going to be discussing the top 5 pros and the top 5 cons when it comes to moving to Orlando, Florida. And we're getting on it right now. On this channel, we do videos every single week of what it's like to live, work, eat, sleep, and play in Orlando. Literally everything you need to know. So if that's the information that you want and need, then go ahead and click the subscribe button below along with the bell so that you're notified every time we have a new video. We have people calling us every single day who are relocating to Orlando, Florida, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about moving to Orlando or to the Central Florida area in general, then shoot us a text, send us an email, give us a call, however you want to connect, because we got your back when it comes to moving to Orlando, Florida. Top 5 reasons why to move to Orlando. First and foremost, and probably the most obvious of all, is the amusement parks. Many people love the amusement parks. We are, the vacation destination, the largest destination in the world. We have Disney World, MGM Studios, Animal Kingdom, Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, and of course SeaWorld, just to name a few. And all of them have water parks as well, which is awesome. We have Aquatica, and then Volcano Bay, and Typhoon Lagoon, and we even have Gatorland. So there's really tons of things to do for everybody. Florida residents, of course, get great discounts, and there's links below that'll show you where you can go to get those discounts. Great discounts that you can go to the theme parks. And in fact, I have some friends that tell me they go to Disney every single week. Honestly, I can't even imagine it, but they love it. So there really is a lot to do here, and there's a lot to do even if you're not going to the theme park. There's shops, there's malls, there's outside activities, of course. So there's so much to do here in the Central Florida area, and that's why it's the #1 reason to move to Orlando, Florida. The second reason is, of course, beaches, and people love the beaches, and we are a peninsula. So obviously we're surrounded by beaches. We have Cocoa Beach and Daytona Beach and New Smyrna Beach and Melbourne Beach. And then we even have over in Clearwater, which by the way, Clearwater Beach was nominated the #1 beach in America. It's beautiful. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive. You can go to Siesta Key. You can go even down to South Beach, which by the way, South Beach, which is one of the most famous beaches in the world, is only 3.5-hour drive. And if you really want to be adventurous, you can go down to the Keys. So you can also go to the Panhandle if you want. There's so many beaches. So if you love the water, you love the sand, you love water activities, then that's the #2 reason why Orlando, Florida makes the most sense for you. We are surrounded by beaches. The third reason to move to Orlando, Florida, and it depends on where you stand on this topic, is the weather. Our weather, hot, pretty much all year round. Not really. I think about 6 months a year we get a little bit of a break, but they call it the Sunshine State for a reason. It's sunny, it's warm, there is no snow. It does rain some in the summertime, just long enough to kind of cool it down and bring up that humidity just a little more. And by the way, if you hate humidity or if your hair goes crazy in the humidity, either get a keratin treatment or don't move here, because we have a lot of humidity. Now, ironically enough, it has been proven that humidity is better for the skin. So if you stay out of the sun or use a really good sunblock, you can kind of protect your skin. The humidity and the moisture is good for it. But yeah, I mean, I moved away. I moved to Washington, D.C. for 3 years. And in as much as I didn't mind the colder weather and the snow, which there was some snow, coming home just felt so nice. I mean, I grew up here. This is my home. And it's beautiful and it's sunny and it's a really pretty place to live. So if you like warm weather and then sometimes hot weather, then this is definitely a place for you to move. So that's the third reason why to move to Orlando, Florida. The fourth reason, which I don't think a lot of people really think about, but I definitely do, is that Orlando is definitely the land of opportunity. I mean, think about this. In 2019, 75 million people visited our city. 75 million. That's a big statistic. And in fact, 20 years ago, it was only 50 million. So we've raised the stakes there. If you are an entrepreneur or you are a restaurant owner or what have you, I mean, think outside the box. There are so many opportunities to kind of capitalize on the fact that we have 75 million people that travel to our city every single year. So it is the land of opportunity. There are so many jobs, and sometimes they're not jobs that you necessarily want, but a job is a job. And our job growth, our future job growth is escalating 51% over the next 5 years. Neo City's coming in, like Nona has tech jobs, Amazon has moved here. There's so much opportunity in Orlando, Florida, and Central Florida in general. So for me, that fourth reason is land of opportunity for sure. And then the fifth reason that really does kind of go in the same vein is no income state tax. Again, I can only give my own experience. When I moved up to Washington, D.C., there was state tax, city tax, local tax, federal tax, personal property tax. Moving back home, I definitely got a pay raise. You know, I made a little more there, but it's a wash. It's all relative. No state income tax is an awesome thing to have. And and we're one of 7 states that has no state income tax. Only 1 out of 7. Our sales tax is 6.5%, which isn't terrible, but in general, our taxes here are pretty manageable. So that is the fifth reason why to definitely move to Orlando, Florida. So with all good things come some not so good things. And here are the top 5 reasons that maybe you might want to really consider whether or not you want to move here. Number 1, first and foremost, the traffic. You know, with this area, we have over 100 people moving here every single day. This place is blowing up. It's growing and growing and growing. But with growth comes a lot of traffic. So, I-4, what a mess. And in fact, the I-4 expansion has actually made it a little bit better, I've noticed. But I bought a house in Southeast Orlando so that I never really had to drive on I-4. There is a lot of traffic. It is a little irritating, but then again, that's all relative. When I moved to Washington, D.C., you're probably going to be tired of hearing me say that. Wow, they gave traffic a new title. Or when I went on a vacation to Los Angeles for a week, they took traffic to a level that I didn't even know exist. There was traffic jams at midnight. So it is all relative. If you're from a small town in a rural area and you only have 1 traffic light in that town, this place may drive you a little crazy. But again, I learned to move to a place where you could get on the toll roads, where you can avoid that traffic, and of course, staying away from traffic at the 8 to 9 a.m. to the 4 to 5 p.m. is always a plus. Now, a lot of people are working from home now, so that traffic has alleviated a little bit, or rather, working from home has alleviated the traffic a bit. But remember, 75 million people come and visit our lovely city every single year. Hey, listen, if you're getting any kind of good information out of this video, if you could, go ahead and smash the like button and comment below. And also, if there's any places you want to know about, anything you want to know about moving or relocating to Florida, or specifically Orlando and Central Florida, well then comment below and let us know, because we'll definitely put that video together for you. The second reason is hurricanes. I grew up in Florida. I remember being 5 years old and being, in the house during a hurricane and watching my swing set go from one side of the house to the other and didn't think twice about it. I'm not so freaked out about hurricanes, and I think sometimes I'm a little arrogant about it, because when Hurricane Charlie hit us, that was something, because Central Florida doesn't typically get hit like the coastline, like the beaches. So hurricanes, you just kind of learn to prepare for them. And of course, there's hurricane shutters. I always keep a steady supply of water and canned foods and whatnot. Probably the peskiest part of hurricanes are losing power. Obviously, it's a huge inconvenience. The most I've ever been out of power was 2 weeks, and of course it was in August, the hottest month of the year. So it was a lot. It was a lot. It was 2 weeks without power. But I know that the power companies have really stepped up their game, and we don't really have power shortages like that, like we did back in August. And why maybe Orlando, Florida is not for you, or something to be mindful of, is the bugs. Again, all relative. I grew up in Florida. Cockroaches, spiders, bugs, love bugs, lizards, they're all kind of part of the deal. Now, if you have a fairly new home, you don't have the bug problem that some people do, and you have to be mindful. My mother always taught me to clean out all my containers before throwing them away, because they attract bugs. And of course, bug services take care of all this kind of stuff. But you do need to be prepared, because there are some critters out there, and they're big, and some people are really freaked out about them. Me, not so much. Love bugs are a little annoying too. Love bug season is in May and September, and they get all over your car. You want to make sure you get them off your car, because they can take the paint off. But besides that, a bug is a bug is a bug, and there are ways to get rid of them. Fourth reason why Orlando or Central Florida is a con, I should say, is the weather, which is actually a pro as well. I grew up here. How many times am I going to say that? And I ran outside every day, hot weather, beaches, didn't think twice about it. But the older I get, the more the heat drives me crazy. So it does get super hot. And I'll tell you what, when I lived up in Washington, D.C., people up there love the hot weather. So if you love hot weather, then come on down, because there's tons of it. Now remember, we do have rain every single day in the summer pretty much, which is nice because it makes your lawn nice and green, but it does make it extremely humid. It cools it down a little, but it makes it extremely humid. Now this July has been interesting, because we've only been hitting like a average of 88 degrees every day, but we've had a lot of thunderstorms. So it's all relative. We had a beautiful winter this past year, and it was about between 60 to 70 degrees, once in a while in the high 70s, maybe a little bit of the 80s. And for some of you, that sounds like a dream come true. So it depends. Some people hate hot weather, some people love it. But if you hate hot weather, you might really want to consider it moving here to Orlando, Florida. And then the fifth reason is, and again, if you're from a small town and it takes you 5 minutes to get to everything, then Orlando will drive you crazy, because everything is spread out. I mean, from my house to go to Altamont Springs is almost an hour. I always call it going to Alabama. It's spread out. It really is. And the more people that move here, the more and more and more it spreads out. They're building infrastructure in Wedgefield, which is on its way to Cocoa Beach, because there's not enough space for everybody. So it is a lot to drive. So you kind of learn how to map your days around how far you have to go and what time you go. But I will say that Orlando is spread out quite a bit, kind of like Atlanta is, not as bad, but it's just something to keep in mind. So today we were checking out the top 5 pros and the top 5 cons to moving to Orlando and Central Florida. But if that isn't the information that you were really looking for, then you gotta let us know. Reach out, call us, text us, email, whatever way you want to correspond. Because remember, we got your back when it comes to moving to Orlando, Florida.